Namaskar, you're watching BTTV. This is Market Today. I'm Tanya Aneja, and with me, as always, is Bhatnagar, our markets editor. Well, it's a muted day of trade, and Indian markets continue to remain volatile. But where are the pockets of opportunities, and what should be your strategy? We'll discuss this and much more. But first, let's do one thing. Let's take a quick market check and see what the markets are doing at this point in time. The good news is that 19,400, this level is still intact on Nifty. 19,419 is the level where we are at, 12 points uptick there. And we are seeing a bit of a pressure in Nifty Bank today, 153 points down there, 43,591. Nifty Bank is not supporting the markets at this point in time. Some of the large caps not really performing today in today's trading session, but let's shift our focus to the section that is performing and how. And I'm talking about mid caps. I mean, look at the move there, 40,345. That's the level on Nifty mid cap 100 index, 297 points uptick there. Trading in the green, and the broader markets continue to outperform. And how some of the stocks like GMDC, Dilip Bilkon, these are the stocks that are doing pretty well in today's trading session. Let's do one thing. Let's pull up some of the gainers for you from today's trading session. And it's, of course, the oil marketing companies that are, the star performers of the day on the back of sharp drop in crude oil prices. Now, BPCL is the top gainer for you, 3.6% uptick there. Adani Ports. Adani Group companies also continue to outperform. There's a report that suggests that US DFC has announced that it will fund a project partly owned by the Adani Group. So on the back of this news, Adani pack is buzzing. Asian Paints, of course, paint companies are also on a roll today on the back of sharp drop in crude oil prices. And on the flip side, if you see the stocks which are not supporting the markets as we speak, there are some of the banking counters which are not supporting the markets, and ICICI Bank is the top loser for you from today's trading session, 1% downtick there. Infosys, NTPC, some of the IT names not really supporting the markets. Apollo Hospitals, Tata Consumer, these are among the top losers as well. But now coming to you, Shell, very good afternoon. And, I was looking at some of the stocks that we discussed in the morning trade today. Look at HPCL, Alchem, Apollo Tires. They are all on a roll.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Tanya, and a very warm welcome to this wonderful session that we've started towards the close of play from 2:30 onwards to 3:30 p.m. We'll be talking about a lot of options trades that you can look into, and of course the state of play, as Tanya mentions. So as far as the indices, the main indices are concerned, there's nothing much happening. Nifty is at about 19,400, and it's the weekly expiry of the Bank Nifty. Therefore, you see it flat about 135 points lower at about 43,585. The Nifty is 15 points higher at about 19,422. It's the activity in the cash markets that needs to be paid attention to, and the fact that any earnings outperformance is getting very widely appreciated by the market, whether it's Trent, whether it's Cummins, whether it's Apollo Tires. So those kind of stocks are coming up fairly sharply. Let's look at the granularity of the market. The top gainers as far as the Nifty is concerned are BPCL, Adani Ports and Asian Paints. Of these three, we've discussed BPCL and Asian Paints. You are seeing in terms of losers, ICICI Bank, Infosys and NTPC down about 1.5% each. If you look at the F&O space, there is very, very sharp earnings growth which Cummins reported, and Cummins is one of the top gainers at the moment in trade. Very, very strong chart coming in as far as the particular stock is concerned, 59 points higher. Look at Apollo Tires. We had discussed the 410 call, 400 call in the morning. That's showing a very, very strong traction. The earnings were beyond belief, and the stock sort of appreciating that rally that you're seeing. The top traded counter in terms of prices is Apollo Tires, up 7%, and it's headed to its all-time high as far as charts are concerned. So these are some of the stocks that are doing pretty well. The stocks at all-time highs are the ones that I'm going to show you, and these are fairly substantial in number. just allow me to show you some data. Just a moment. There is some issue in terms of how the software is functioning. Okay, we have all-term highs coming in. Let's look at 52-week highs. The IPCA Labs 1059 in front of you, 5% higher. NLC India 8% higher, 152.40. Alchem post earnings 4229, 201 points higher. So this is the broad background of the market. Let's touch base with our guest, Mr. Nagaraj Shetti. Joins us from HDFC Securities. Nagaraj is a very, very strong hand on derivatives as well as technical trades. Good afternoon, Mr. Shetti. Welcome to Market Today on Business Today Television. Your view on how the derivatives position is there on any of the indices that you track, and how do you see the weekly expiry of HDFC of Bank Nifty panning out?
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Bhatnagar. If you look at to discuss about the Nifty first, I would like to have a few comments on the market. Recently, we have seen an exceptional upside bounce from the lower levels, from the support of 18,850 odd level, which is a 200-day EMA. Market has witnessed a phenomenal strength to move up. Recently, we have seen upside gaps on the Nifty daily chart, which is still open, and in technical terms, which is indicating that we are in the middle of the trend. So I'm expecting further upside for the market for the Nifty. Initially, we can see resistance building around 19,600 levels. After some consolidation or a minor weakness, we could eventually head higher above the 19,600 level. I'm expecting Nifty to reach around 19,800 in the next a few weeks. Overall trend remains positive. Any dips from here is around 19,050 to 19,000 is going to be the buy on dips opportunity. In terms of Bank Nifty, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Nagaraj, let's just pray to God that 19,000 does not come again. We've had a very difficult time over the last 2 odd weeks, and it's the season of festivities. Let's enjoy the bounce while it lasts. 19,428 in front of us, and we just love the hope that it's headed towards 19,800. Once you think in terms of positivities, that's how the universe starts to reward you. Since we are in the festival season, let's look at how you think people can make decent profits in picking stocks that might give supernormal returns over the next 1 year or so. Any stocks that you think are in that particular strata, in that particular zone, where technically and fundamentally they look good?
Yeah, of course. Recently, we have given some set of stocks ahead of this festive season, and I would like to have a few comment on these stocks in terms of long-term perspective. If you look at stocks, initially we can start with the Reliance, the index major. Chartically, Reliance has been in a consolidation mode over the last a few weeks. It has been continuously in a downtrend. Recently, what we observed that the stock has taken support around 2220 level, which is happens to be an important support for the stock. I'm expecting a further upside for the Reliance, and it could move towards the next overhead resistance of around 2550, 2600 levels in the next few months. And if you look at the next stock, the GAIL has been in a strong upside momentum over the last many months, as we can observe high tops and high bottoms on the charts, and it has moved after taking the support of the initial moving averages. Currently placed around the 124, 125 levels, and I'm expecting this to move towards the next overhead resistance of around 140 odd levels in the next coming months. And Equitas Bank is the one that is continuously moving up. Recently, we have seen minor dips, and it has bounced back strongly. If you look at the chart over the last 6-7 months, there is a limited decline and a continuous upside momentum in the stocks. So I'm expecting this stock to continue with upside momentum for the near term, and 107, 108 is the next upside resistance to be watched for these stocks. And if you look at the next stock, Gujarat Alkali, that was showing a consolidation moment, a range-bound moment over the period of time, and is held on the support, slightly gradually moving up from the support, and there is a small resistance around 780, 790 level. Once it breaks above that resistance, we could see this stock advancing towards the its next resistance of around 900 levels in the near terms. And Dr. Reddy pharma space has been in a steady decline over the last period of a few months, and recently it has taken a support around 50 to 100 levels, which is the support as per the concept of change in polarity. I'm expecting this stock to form an important bottom reversal and move towards the next resistance of around 5,800 levels in the next few months.
Right.
And McDonald, yeah, if you look at one more stocks, McDonald has been continuously at the higher levels, maintaining its upward bias, and currently taken support around
United
1,000
Spirits.
levels. Yeah, McDowell, yes, United Spirits, yeah.
Yeah,
If it is
we'll
likely to be break, yeah,
just a moment, sir. We'll show United Spirits
yeah.
because there is another share by the name McDowell Holdings, and we don't want any confusion there. So, Mr. Nagaraj is referring to United Spirits, which was earlier known as McDowell. So that's the NSC code, but we know it better as United Spirits. So a whole host of shares is what Mr. Nagaraj has discussed. I'm sure they'll give a phenomenal return over the next 1 year or so. But Tanya, you have a pick in mind to discuss.
Absolutely, Shell, and the stock on my radar is Apollo Tires. And very good afternoon, Mr. Shetti. Festive greetings to you, first of all. But I want to know it from you that what do the technical charts now suggest for Apollo Tires? Because if you see 7% uptick there already, 410, that's the level where we are at this point in time. Stellar set of second quarter numbers coming in from Apollo Tires. But what would be your positional view?
Hi, good afternoon, Tanya. If you look at the Apollo tire chart, it was moving in a range bound action over the last few months. And today's promising up move is indicating that there is an upside breakout of the range movement around 400, 405 levels. And I'm expecting this upside momentum to continue. We have seen upside momentum on the back of rise in volume as well. The overall momentum oscillators are also showing a positive signal. So I'm expecting this stock to move up towards the 430 levels, which is the next set of resistance for the near term.
Fair point. And look at Apollo very closely. Two or three things that I want to mention is, of course, the very smart spurt in volume that we've seen on Apollo today. Let me rustle up an intelligent view to look at it in a different manner. And here is the set of F&O stocks in front of you. And amongst the volume buzzers is on the first stop is Apollo Tires. 11 times the 5-day average has been traded, which is 1 crore 50 lakh shares. And this breakout that has happened 6.5–7% higher is on the back of earnings. Therefore, there is both momentum fundamentally and there is momentum technically as well as on price and volume. So let's just look at the all-time high number for Apollo Tires, and that is somewhere like 442. Well, that's a bit away, but you can well imagine as to how the stock is moving, and the volume of 1.5 crores is probably the highest that I see in at least 1 year. So you can see the extent of volume that is coming in. This was the last time we saw this volume was on 29th of November 2022. When the stock was, ladies and gentlemen, at 283. So from then on to now, let's hope how this stock is moving. And apart from Apollo, it's a whole host of other tire stocks that are doing phenomenally well. Within the F&O space, it's Balkrishna Industries, specialist tire maker. There is MRF, and in the cash segment, there is JK Tires. All of them are doing pretty well. JK Tires actually announced earnings 2 weeks ago, and it is already at a record high. Apollo moving in that direction. 1% higher on MRF is $1,000, and that's how markets are at the moment. Given the kind of moves that we are seeing, Mr. Nagaraj, in the tire space, anything apart from Apollo that catches your fancy?
I think JK Tire is the one which has had a continuous upside over the last few years. We can observe the continuous upside moment without showing any reasonable downward correction in betweens. And this is the one currently trading around over 355 levels. And recently it has witnessed an upside breakout with the up gap, and the up gap still remains open. The overall chart pattern is also looking positive. 375, 380 going to be the next set of resistance for the stocks in the near term.
Okay, so that's the view coming in on JK Tires. Remember, this is already a record high for the stock, and it seems to be getting the attention of the right set of people in terms of technicals. Staying with you, Mr. Nagaraj, HPCL, although it's moved up very sharply today, do you see any merit beyond the 8% rise that we've seen, accompanied by a very, very sharp volume as well as open interest move? 8.3% higher, the top performer in F&O. What should one do? Stay away, or maybe try and ride this momentum?
Yeah, if you look at the chart recently, the previous to this upside breakout, the stock was moving in a downward sloping wedge kind of a pattern. It was evident that this was in a process of forming important bottom reversal. I think from 240, 240 odd level to 300 is quite a high for the stocks. I'm expecting a little consolidation moment around 308, 310 level, which is a strong resistance at this point of time, and could correct from the higher levels.
What about Alchem, Mr. Shetty? Because since we are talking about the winners only at this point in time, Alchem Laboratories is also the top gainer from the Pharma pack. Stellar set of numbers coming in from the company, and the company has also retained its FY24 India growth guidance as well. What do the technical charts suggest now for Alchem?
Yeah, technically it is currently placed at very strong upside breakout. Recently, we have seen momentum building up from 3,800 to 4,300 in 2 sessions of time. It's a quite strong upside momentum. Currently, 4,300 is going to be the resistance for the stocks. I'm not expecting a bigger decline from here. A slightly consolidation or underperformance slightly for the next few sessions from around 4,300, 4,310 levels before showing further upside momentum.
Okay, absolutely got that. And I think now we have with us Mr. Manan Shah, who is the MD of Man Infra. So let's shift focus to the corporate section of our show today. And Man Infra posted second quarter numbers. So good afternoon, Manan, and welcome to VTTV. Festive greetings to you. And let me begin by asking you about the key highlights. I mean, why don't you take us through the key highlights of the quarter gone by?
Sure. Good afternoon. Thank you so much. In terms of the overall half yearly, which I would like to say is the company's been doing steady progress. And in fact, last month we've launched our the latest project, which is called Aradhya Avan at South Mumbai in the location of Tardev. This is going to be one of the tallest towers in the country, which is going to have a revenue potential of nearly around 4,000 crores in terms of top line. And we are DM partners in this, where we would be expecting a 12.5% margin on the top line basis. Alongside this, in terms of the overall scenario, we've bidded for a lot of new redevelopment projects at a lot of new locations in terms of BKC, Badala, Bandra West. And we are on the final stage for negotiations and all. We would be announcing a lot of new projects in the forthcoming quarters as well. Regarding the progress updates of the other projects, we've seen a very good turnaround in terms of the completion period. We've been able to manage all the projects much before the scheduled timelines. And there's some negligible inventory left, which is near possession. So we are almost sold out in majority of our projects as well.
Yeah. Mr. Shah, we have been interviewing a slew of real estate companies across the board, whether they are Mumbai-centric, such as yours, or Bangalore-centric, or pan-national, but we haven't seen this kind of a dip in performance as is being observed as far as Man Infra is concerned. What caused this fall?
So if you see any real estate company, usually I would like to state that do not review it on the quarter-on-quarter basis for two specific reasons. Last 2 quarters, we have not done any new launches because all the projects that we've already launched in the past are near completion and the inventory is already been nearly sold out. The projects which we had started selling last year, the revenue is still not recognized because of the completion basis. And the new projects which have just been launched, you will start seeing the revenue coming in the forthcoming quarters of this financial year as well as the next year. But we've got a very strong, steady pipeline of more than 5.9 million square feet, which is going to be executed in the next course of couple of years. And at the same time, we've got a good sales strategy in place where we are very confident on 900 plus crores of sales happening within this financial year itself.
Okay, and from the looks of it, Man Infra is mostly a Mumbai, Maharashtra-centric company. You talk about the plan that you have in Tardeo. You are the direct marketing agent as far as the company is concerned. What is the square feet size that's coming up at Tardeo, and what are the price points that Man Infra is addressing?
So we are looking at a total revenue potential of 4,000 crores from that project, and the total square foot, which would be the RERA carpet area for sale, is around 6.5 lakh square feet.
Okay.
So,
and since you are the direct marketing agent for it, you will make a percentage of 4,000 crores. What would that percentage be in terms of marketing commission?
that would be 12.5%.
Okay. So 12.5% of 4,000 crores is the total potential for that particular project. And this is what is the extent of this pipeline in terms of number of months? I mean, till when do you hope to sell that inventory? Are you the only agent for that particular property, or are you one of the many?
So this is not going to just get potential out of the top line, but at the same time, the money that's been invested in this, we charge a 14% interest as well on this project. So that is also going to come back to the company because we are debt free and all the money that's been invested to kick off the project is been put in by the company. Over and above this, Manan Infra will also make an EPC margin of 10% on the total construction cost. That is also an additional income in terms of the total portfolio of that particular project. Apart from this, we've signed a couple of other DM projects as well, where like Ville Parle, which we are going to be launching it soon, where we are seeing a total square foot area of nearly around 4 lakh square feet, and on which we would be taking our DM fee as well.
Okay, these are very technical terms. If you could just sort of elaborate them for our viewers who look at real estate companies in a very different lens. You mentioned DNP for the Ville Parle project. What does that actually mean?
So it's the same DM concept, basically direct marketing, like I said.
Okay. Okay.
Where
okay.
we'll be charging it on the top line revenue potential, which is going to be a 14% fee.
Okay, that's the kind of margins that you make in real estate, a 14% fee to sell a flat. That's wonderful, Mr. Shah. I wish everybody was in this kind of a wonderful situation where you make 14% of the designated price on a particular flat on per square feet basis as commission. Chalo, good luck to you. Let's just dig a little deeper. You mentioned that there are hardly any debt payments, and I see it in the quarterlies that there's just an interest payment of 6.46 crores, which is minuscule for a company of your size. What are the plans in terms of raising funds, if any? Are they required at this moment, or are you fairly strong as far as cash holdings are concerned?
So Manan Infra's group balance sheet still is extremely strong, where we are having liquidity of more than 500 crores still. And we do not see any requirement for any fundraising currently, neither the increase of any debt. The company still at the holdco level is net cash positive because of these high liquidity statuses. And because usually all of our projects have been sold out, or we've always received phenomenal responses during these launches, the financial closures have always been much more easier for us, which gets
Absolutely.
profitability margin also for us.
Yes, you have a cash of about 581 crores on your balance sheet, and the net debt is just a shade above 200 crores. So it's a wonderful position to be, Mr. Shah. Let's talk about the pipeline. Is it just Mumbai centric, or are you looking at other parts of Maharashtra as well? Of course, Mumbai, it being an island, is also an island of relative safety when it comes to real estate prices. They're just sky high. What is the geographical distribution of the projects in the pipeline?
So the strategy is to definitely be in Mumbai city only, not go outside for any other cities. Reason being, the margins are definitely much more better, where we are enjoying more than 25% margins in majority of our projects. And at the same time, the velocity is absolutely phenomenal in city like Mumbai. So we've spread it across the western suburb, central suburbs. So right from Goregaon to Mira Bhayandar to Juhu, Villeparle, Tardev, Ghatkopar, we've spread across all of these locations, and we've bidded further for some other locations as well, like I mentioned, in terms of Wadala, BKC, and Bandra West, where you would be hopefully seeing us soon.
Okay, absolutely. And Manan, I want to know it from you that is there, are there any plans to launch a middle income project in the coming months?
Could you be a little more clear? I'm unable to hear you, sorry.
Yeah. So I was saying that are there any plans to launch a middle income project in the coming months or maybe in the future?
Not in a very short span, but we are doing one middle income group project, which is in the Dahisar, Mira Bhayandar, where we've already delivered the phase 1. We've already launched phase 2. 50% of it, we've currently launched it, where the revenue is not yet recognized. It's going to start soon. And there also, we've almost been 50% sold out during the launch itself. So currently, the focus of the company is more towards luxury and ultra luxury, where we are seeing much better stability in terms of Mumbai's absorption as well.
Absolutely, Mr. Shah. Let me get you into a secret. Actually, Tanya's just moved to Mumbai, and she's looking out for a decent accommodation to buy. That's why she asked. But please also forgive us when we talk about middle income in Mumbai. That's stratospheric even for Delhi standards. And you're talking about luxury and ultra luxury, which is completely unaffordable for at least people like me and Tanya. But full marks to you. Dahisar, Tanya, is very far away as far as our office is concerned, but I'm sure Mr. Shah has a lot of aces up his sleeve. Let's look at the ultra luxury and luxury segment, Mr. Shah. Aspirational India is shooting through the roof, and as you very rightly say, the velocity and consumption of such projects in Mumbai is perhaps the highest in the world. What do you think are the changes that have happened in this aspirational class of flat buyers over the last 5 years?
So what we've actually observed is Mumbai used to have a trend earlier where the apartments were getting smaller and smaller because of the ticket sizes. But post-COVID, people have really understood the nitty-gritties of owning actually a house, and especially being a little more larger, because when people have to sit at home where everybody's been spending the quality time with their friends, family, and everyone, you need a slightly larger space. So that's what's kicking in luxury furthermore. And people are opting for maybe like a slightly larger bedroom or an extra bedroom space, so that the futures are also secured in terms of their family growing or in terms of their office space, if need be, or maybe one recreational room, which they always tend to add. And it's been long due, honestly speaking, where past 7-8 years, if you see the real estate trends, they had been much more stagnant. And now's the time when people have realized the potential and the industry has been growing and flourishing. I'm seeing a steady and constant growth, in fact, in the luxury sector for another 3 to 4 years at least.
Right. With that, Mr. Shah, thank you so much for sparing your time and sharing your views with us. All the good luck to you, and festive cheer to all your existing customers, to your company, as also to your family from BTTV. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you so much.
With that, Tanya, we'll come back to reality. And reality is that the Mumbai market has always been unaffordable and will always remain unaffordable for the likes of middle class, and the definition of middle class in Mumbai is very different from the middle class in Delhi as across India. Let's get back to markets. We'll talk about the Nifty and Bank Nifty for you, ladies and gentlemen. It's 3:02 p.m. and let's look at where the markets are. The Nifty at about 19,445, up 40 points, extremely flat. It's digesting the 3-day rally. Sensex at about 65,000 in front of you, again completely flat. The Nifty Bank on its weekly expiry day doing nothing at all, 43,662, 77 points lower. It's the realty space, the pharma space and the metal space that is sticking fairly sharply. Is Mr. Nagaraj with us? Yes.
He's with us, yes.
Mr. Nagaraj, welcome back to the conversation. We were discussing Mumbai realty, flats, homes, ultra luxury as well as luxury prices, and of course it's all good to talk about them. They are completely unaffordable, at least at our end. Let's look at the all-time highs in the market, something that I'm sure you track much more seriously than me. TVS Motors 2% higher, 1644. Trent doing a very fine job, 1.5% higher, 2460. The numbers came in yesterday and they were off the charts. Colgate Palmolive 1% higher, 2137. Any of these stocks that interest you on the long side, Mr. Nagaraj?
Yeah, TVS Motor, if you look at the chart, there's been a continuous uptrend since after it has broken above 1450 levels a few months back. And now the stock has been moving up continuously by taking the immediate supports of 10 and 20-day EMA. Overall chart pattern is looking positive, though it has moved up around 2% after the announcement today. I think most aim is there to move further. So the next resistance would be around 1780, which is going to test in the next 1 or 2 weeks.
You know, Shell, we discussed KPIT Tech in the morning, if you remember.
Yes.
And the stock is up 3% in the afternoon trade as well. And it is buzzing in how. I want to come to you, Mr. Shetti, for KPIT Tech. Mid-cap IT names have been performing really well, especially after the second quarter numbers, if you compare it with the large cap names. So what would you do with KPIT Tech now? 3.26% uptick there on this counter.
I'm expecting further upside momentum for this stock. Recently, it has broken above the strong resistance around 1250, 1240 levels and is moving up from there. And the overall chart pattern is looking positive. I'm expecting this stock to reach up to 1400 levels, which is a next hurdle for the stock in the next 1 to 2 weeks.
And what about Zomato? Because these new age tech companies, they are buzzing, in today's trading session, and Zomato on the back of course, stellar second quarter numbers. The stock is on a roll after the results. So what would be your thoughts, and what do the technical charts suggest?
Yeah, chartically it is looking positive. Recently, it has witnessed a decisive upside breakout of 115 resistance, which was there over the last many weeks, and currently looking positive, placed at the hurdles around 120, 124, 125. I'm expecting this resistance to be taken out very soon on the upper side, and 135 is going to be the next hurdle for the stocks on the way up.
Very strong buzz today also in terms of volumes, Tanya, on Zomato, and we've been tracking Zomato at least for the last 3 or 4 trading sessions, I think from 110 rupee onwards. Today's volume is 6 crore shares, which is substantially higher than the average, and like I said, very, very strong momentum coming in. You pointed out the earnings factor here. Across the board, there has been a very sharp move in all these internet companies. Mr. Nagaraj, throwing Paytm at you, what do you think in terms of the move that we are seeing over the last 2 or 3 weeks or so? Bit of consolidation, but now at about 893. What are the charts telling you on Paytm, and if you would have a medium-term view on this particular counter?
For short term, the downtrend or a slight consolidation is likely to continue. There is a support for the stock around immediate support around 865, 870 levels. Once it breaks below 865, 870, it could test down to 800 level, which is a 200-day EMA for as of now. I'm expecting the range bound movement for the stocks. I'm not expecting any bigger upside as of now. But if you look at long term, there is a possibility of further upside. But for the short term, I'm expecting a range bound movement.
And Mr. Nagaraj, we've seen this very strong bout of earnings coming over the next 2 or 3 years. I'm so sorry, over the past 2 or 3 trading sessions, and this normally for technical as well as derivatives players offers an opportunity to get into stocks on a burst of volume or price. I mean, look at Trent. This was a stock in the past quarter which gave a very strong set of earnings, and 6 months ago, again, the earnings were really good. At that point of time, the price was somewhere like 1800, and this burst that has come since yesterday has seen, 2400 or so. Any earnings related re-rating that HDFC Securities is seeing, given the earnings that we've seen coming over the last 1 week or so?
Recently, on the related to earnings, we have seen we have issued some picks. I'm not discussing as of now that one, but if you look at there are certain stocks after the post earnings and pre earnings, they are giving upside breakouts. Technically, we see some of the indications of the technical upside breakouts, and we discuss on that. But if you look at the trend it was moving up gradually over the period of time, and recently it has busted on the upside yesterday and currently consolidation. The long-term chart of the trend remains up. There is a possibility of a consolidation having moved up sharply from the lower levels. 2350 is going to be the support for the stocks, and I'm expecting it to upside bounce from the higher bottom level.
Okay, absolutely. And strong moves coming in on GMDC, Mr. Shetti, from the PSU market, from the PSU space. Nice swing trade happening on the upside, and it's the top gainer. It's up around 12%. Okay, 11.5% as we speak. 356 is the level where we are at. What would you do with GMDC?
I'm expecting GMDC to form an important higher bottom as of now. We have seen this stock has been buzzing up from 200 to almost 400, doubled in the few months, and current has witnessed a downward correction from the high of 434 to 435 levels. Today's more promising upside movement is indicating that somehow the downward correction of the stocks of the last couple of few weeks seems to have reversed on the upper side. I'm expecting upside momentum to continue from here onwards, and 400 is going to be the next set of resistance for the stocks in the next 1 to 2 weeks.
Yes, it's a substantial rally that's come in. Tanya, 11%, the jump that you're seeing is also accompanied by, almost 2x volume. Today we have about 1.6 crore shares actually traded. And if we are able to show a picture of the daily chart, as Mr. Nagaraj very correctly points out, it's a swing trade in the making. The previous high was 431. The stock corrected till 307, 308, and today it's just taken off. So a lot of momentum left. Let's see what happens over the next 2 or 3 trading sessions. But strong moves coming in after a substantial decline. So a swing trade is what looks to be in the making. What are the charts, Mr. Nagaraj, talking about sectors which one should avoid? Charts which are weakening, sectors that are contracting, enthusiasm that is waning, and volume that is dipping. Where do you see such kind of chart structures in the market?
Yeah, I feel a little dicey to tell the current underperformance, but look at the market. Usually, whole host of the sectors are participating in the upside rally from a smaller perspective or a larger perspective. And out of that, IT is the one is showing some lagging. The chartically speaking, IT has declined from the higher levels from the index perspective. From the high of around 33,400 level, it almost declined down to 30,000 levels or levels and still struggling. Recently, we have seen some minor upside bounces in the IT sector, but currently facing resistance at the higher levels. So this is the one space I'm expecting a further consolidation or slightly underperformance at this point of time. And over the period of time, this could bounce back from the lows.
Okay, so IT is a point of weakness, at least in the front lines. But Mr. Nagaraj, stocks like KPIT, Birla Soft, the lovely ones, L&T Mindtree, I don't even want to start discussing Coforge. All of them are in record high territory, and no matter how much they fall, they rise much, much further. What's happening here?
Yeah, mid-cap IT space is moving up. Recently, we have seen upside bounces in the IT sector, and mid-cap IT stocks have participated well in this upside bounces. But I'm a little worried about the major participants, IT front lines, and there is a possibility of some consolidation in those space.
Okay, so consolidation on front lines like Infosys, TCS, Wipro, HCL Tech, and it's a party on a roll when it comes to mid-cap IT. Any stock you pick up, nuclear software, I remember it at 400 rupees, now 16, 1700. KPIT, Birla Soft, we used to discuss somewhere like 500 and 250. Look at where, okay, nuclear soft is actually 5% higher today. I did not check that. So that's looking pretty good, but Tanya seems to have caught fancy of real estate space. Tanya, what's next on your plate?
I think we should pull up Dilip Bilcon Shell. It's also buzzing in the trade today, in the session today, and it's after the news of fund infusion. So, coming to you, Mr. Shetty, for a quick technical check on Dilip Bilcon, if we can pull up the charts for our viewers. Okay, the stock is up 3.3% today, and we are trading at 356 odd level at this point in time. What do the technical charts now suggest for Dilip Bilcon, Mr. Shetty?
Yeah, this stock was moving in a range, a narrow range over the last couple of months from at the high of 350 to 300 levels and currently placed at the edge of the upside breakout. Technically, we believe whenever these condition bands taken out on the upper side, the upside momentum continues for some more period. So I'm expecting the 360 is a resistance right now, and this stock is approaching 360, and I am expecting this 360 is going to be broken on the upper side. On that front, 395 to 400 is going to be the next hurdle for this stock in the near term.
Okay, Zydus Life Sciences is also buzzing, and this is, of course, on the back of stellar set of second quarter numbers. I think it's the earnings season, and it's all about the earnings and stocks reacting on the basis of their numbers. So, Mr. Shetty, coming to you for Zydus, what's the road ahead for this particular counter, and what do the technical charts now suggest?
The upside momentum which has started in today's session, I think it needs to be continued for at least for some more period. What the overall chart pattern is looking out, and recently we have seen underperformance in the stocks gradually decline. But if you look at the long-term chart, it remains intact. The recent downward correction of the last couple of months, I think this has taken out on the upper side. So 670, 665, 670 could be the next hurdle for the stock in the near term.
Okay, and what about Hindalco? It's also buzzing from the metal space. A quick technical check on Hindalco as well.
Metal was lagging recently, and Hindalco has moved in a consolidation band. We have seen underperformance recently. It has bounced back from the 200 EMA support around 450, 445, 450 levels. Now it is currently at the upper band. I'm not that optimistic in this Hindalco at the higher levels. I'm expecting the consolidation moment, a range bound moment to continue. And at 495, 500 is going to be the strong resistance for the stocks. I'm expecting the stock to react on the downside from the higher levels.
Right. Mr. Nagaraj, we must have thrown about 100 stocks and 100 charts at you, and you've, very ably and with great skill batted them out of the ground. One tries to remember the Glenn Maxwell innings that we saw yesterday between Australia and Afghanistan. By any chance, have we missed something asking you, or are we fully covered?
I think one stock I'm interested in today's session, at least actually we have given a
Okay.
recommendation in this stock. That is the one Poonawalla FinCorp. If you look at the chartically, this Poonawalla was in continuous downtrend. From the highs of 450 to almost it has reached the low of 336. And the overall chart pattern is looking very strong on the upper side. Today's up move and this week's up move has reacted on the upper side, has formed an important bottom reversal, I believe, and the stock has moved up. Currently, 390 is a resistance for the stocks. I'm expecting outperform to continue in this segment, and 430 440 is going to be the next resistance. 435 to 440 is going to be the next resistance for the stocks. That is as it has witnessed upside breakout of the downsloping trend line along with the expansion in volume. This is the one I'm expecting further upside momentum in the near term.
Okay, absolutely. Got that. And Mr. Shetty, buy on dip strategy that has worked so far in the markets. So that's why I want to discuss ICICI Bank with you right now, because if you see that this stock is the top loser from today's trading session. So would you buy this dip?
Right now, front-end bankings are not doing that well because index itself is showing consolidation. But chartically, I'm not expecting any bigger decline for Bank Nifty, at least from here on. There is a possibility of consolidation. And if you look at the ICICI Bank placed at the higher levels around 950, 955 is a resistance. Some more consolidation is likely for the next day or two. So eventually, this stock would come down, come up from the lower levels. There is a possibility of a sustainable upside bounce after the consolidation.
Right. Mr. Nagaraj, a stock that has really slipped below investors' radar as also traders is Bajaj Finance. It doesn't seem to be doing anything at all. If you look at the medium term charts, what is Bajaj Finance telling you? You have a QIP of 8,000 crores open, so maybe that is also an overhang. But technically, where does Bajaj Finance stand in terms of charts?
Though technically it has witnessed some corrections from the highs of around 8170 levels, still there is no indication of any higher bottom formations. The long-term charts are remains positive, long-term trend remains positive, and this correction is going to be halted at the lower levels. So, though at least at the supports, but I need some confirmation to call this as a bottom reversal. Still, consolidation is going on for the stock for the short term.
Okay, so it's a consolidative phase at 7400. Let's see what are the daily charts of Bajaj Finance telling us. This is a rare instance where the stock has corrected from say 8150 to 7460, and if we are able to show a chart of say 1 month or so, the stock is now taking very strong support on 7460, which happens to be its 100-day moving average. So this sideways trend that we are observing for the last 2-3 weeks, let's see when it gets exhausted, because this is a similar kind of chart pattern that you saw on Poonawalla FinCap, a slight drawdown from the peak, and over the last 2 or 3 trading sessions, at least Poonawalla has bounced very sharply. Both companies, by the way, belong to Pune. Let's see whether one rubs over the other. But that's how the structure of Bajaj Finance is. A lot of consolidation. Let's see when it boosts itself up. 321, ladies and gentlemen. 9 minutes left for the market to close, and it's been pretty much a nothing day as far as the main indices are concerned, unless you are looking at outstanding performances based out of earnings. Flat trade on Nifty, 19,444 in front of you. Remember, we are on T-1, which is the day ahead of the weekly expiry on Thursday tomorrow. So that's how the structure of the Nifty is, a very range bound trade that you saw today. And when you look at the winners and losers as far as the Nifty is concerned, of course it was led by sectors such as pharma, as also FMCG. So there is a defensive play that's happening in the Nifty. The bulls don't want to give up the strong rally that you've seen from 18,850 to 19,440 that is in front of you, and that's how the structure is. Bank Nifty on its weekly expiry day, so nothing much happening there. All the 5 banks that contribute, all the 6 banks within the Nifty that are also part of the Bank Nifty are flat between minus 0.1% to minus 0.2%. Again, flat trade. I mean, 82 points either way on the Bank Nifty is nothing. The daily volatility here is somewhere like 300 to 700 points. So flat day on both indices, but a lot of rejoicing happening on realty, pharma and metals. In terms of broader sentiment, Mr. Nagaraj, how do you see the overall structure and sentiment on Dalal Street over the next 2 or 3 sessions ahead of Diwali?
I'm expecting Nifty to move up towards 19,600 odd levels. I'm expecting the 19,600 is going to be a strong resistance ahead, and around Diwali we are like to see some consolidation building up at a hurdle around 19,600 odd levels, and eventually there is a possibility of some minor decline from the highs, and eventually we could see a breakout of 600 in the near term.
Okay, absolutely got that, Mr. Shetty. And it's just, I think, 7 minutes to go for the closing. But Mr. Shetty, coming to you for Tata Motors, and the reason I'm mentioning this stock is because we discussed this stock day before yesterday with one of our guests, and he gave us a target of 900 to 1,000 rupees on this particular stock. So this stock is on my radar after that. What would be your thoughts, and what do the technical charts suggest according to you for Tata Motors?
Technical charts of Tata Motors has been strong since it has moved up decisively from the support of 450 to the almost 600, 650 levels. After moving so much from the lower levels, there is a possibility of some consolidation. This is what exactly happening at the higher levels. So around 650, 660 is acting as a strong resistance right now. At the lower levels, 600 is going to be the strong support. I'm expecting this stock to behave, this stock to move within the range of 650 to 600 levels in the next at least 1 week.
Okay, so that's the view coming in on Tata Motors. And let's start wrapping up the trade for today, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Nagaraj, thank you so much once again for such wonderful sharing of information, right from stocks that could do extremely well over the next 1 year to those that can move fairly sharply in a very shorter term frame. Thank you so much for your time. And as always, festive greetings to you, your team, everybody at HDFC Sky and the wider HDFC Securities universe. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Okay. So, Tanya, it's 3:25 and let's wrap the markets for today. A lot of interesting stocks have come up as far as strong gains are concerned, led mostly through earnings. We'll talk about Apollo Tyres, up 7.5% today. This is the second best gainer on the markets within the F&O space, and the gain is accompanied by a very, very sharp rise in traded volume in the cash market, a modest 2% rise in the futures segment. What is interesting is to watch the delivery number for tomorrow, and that will be updated at 6 p.m. tonight. So that is something that you need to look at. As also Cummins, this is a stock that has run up fairly sharply, 4.6% higher, 1776. They make diesel gensets, and the earnings have been fantastic. Here the open interest is up 13%. and let's see how the delivery statistics pan out. This is a counter almost near its record high, so this is something to be looked at. The pharma space gave a lot of winners today, primarily driven by the fantastic performance of Alchem Laboratories on the financial side. Alchem itself rose 5% higher to a fresh record high in the F&O space, 42.50 for you, and this was accompanied by a drop in open interest, which basically means all those bears who were thinking that the price will fall post earnings are now actually closing out their trades. Therefore, you see a further rally on this counter. Apart from Alchem, you had strong gains coming in on Ipca Labs, up 4.8%, Zydus Life up 5.2%, and amongst the frontline counters, you had Aurobindo Pharma up 4%, around a fresh high, fresh 52-week high, definitely 939 in front of you, up 3.2% in terms of open interest as well. Stocks that are falling today, among them Bharat Forge, down 2%, 1036, accompanied by a very sharp rise in open interest of about 13%. So this is something that you need to look at. And in terms of most active futures, you've seen a substantial rise in volume for Balkrishna Industries. Keep this tire stock in focus. This is something which is looking good on the charts, and given the kind of move that we've seen on Apollo Tyres today, this is something that we can look at for the remaining part of the week. Deepak Nitrite, again, blowout quarter that came yesterday, very sharp rise in volume in the F&O space, 2145 for you, up 37, and of course United Spirits up 1.7%, 1101 for you in the F&O space. Tanya.
Absolutely, Shell. And like you said, bulls are not really ready to give up anytime soon. And Nifty is trading marginally higher, if you see. 33 points uptick there on Nifty. 19,440 is the level where we are at. But I think this should be the best strategy, Shell, to not really give up, whether it's live, whether it's markets. It just, it's always a good idea to never give up. But on that wonderful note, I think now is the time for us to wrap up this edition of Market Today. But you don't have to go anywhere. You just have to stay tuned to BT TV. Lots more coming up for you. So stay tuned, and many thanks for watching.
Which over the next 6 months, 1 year might give stellar returns on the long side?
When I look from a long-term perspective is Tata Motors.